You are now listening to the Q&E Podcast.
Is this what you want? Huh? Is this what you want? Well, come and get it, goddammit!
What's up, everybody? You're listening to the Q&E Podcast. You're here with your boy Q Hicks right now. I got Agatha on the other line. Agatha, tell the people what's good.
What's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Q&E Podcast. Today, we are reviewing WandaVision, episode 9, the finale. WandaVision Mondays for the last time for season 1. I'm gonna let Quincy go on his rant in a little bit. But it was a lot of mixed emotions for me. I'm gonna just go ahead and start off and say that. It took a couple of times, not just a couple, it took a few times for me to watch it and feel a little bit better than I felt when I initially first watched it on Friday. But I'll let Quincy dive in how he felt.
This episode was trash. I feel like WandaVision and everybody from Marvel really did not capitalize on all of the anticipation and the theories that really built this show. Because when I look back on the show, I'm like, damn, what really happened that was so crazy other than our anticipation and the theories, because we knew something big was going to come by the end. And when you don't get it and you get what we got on Friday, it's just like, come on, dog. We didn't get a Mephisto. You telling me we didn't get a Magneto? We didn't get any Fantastic Four references. Doctor Strange, no Doctor Strange in the post-credit scene. It's like, bro, what's going on? It's cool that they tried to do everything with the closure. They tried to get the emotion in there, but I wanted more battles. You cannot have the big battle of the season finale be a battle with Agnes, bro. We thought somebody big was going to come. Mephisto, nobody comes. White Vision just flies the fuck off to wherever he flew off to, stops fighting with Vision in the middle of the fight. It's like so many things went wrong that could have been so much better in this season finale. But I'm going to dive into it the more we go on through these scenes, bro. I hated it. I hated this episode. I'm going to just say it, bro. I watched it twice, and I feel how I feel.
Well, I don't hate it. I strongly disliked it, but I understand what Marvel is doing with this, and we've said it before. Like, all of these shows are going to tie in together: Falcon, Winter Soldier, Loki, any other shows right now, the Eternals, like everything. All these shows and movies that they're about to do over this year and throughout the next couple of years are all going to tie into each other. And I do like the fact that Marvel is doing this with shows now, not just movies, because with Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., hardly anything. There were a few things from that show that kind of tied into the movies, but hardly anything from there. You cannot watch any of Marvel Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. and still understand everything going on in the MCU. But I feel like the game has changed now because of the pandemic and because of the fact people are stuck at home. They're going to make these television shows tie into all the big movies we're going to see now. So I'm not too mad now after like my third time watching the season finale that it ended so empty, because I know we're going to get more as these other shows come. And as the second season of WandaVision comes, we're going to get more. But I do agree with you. This season ended terribly because of all the anticipation.
Like, bro, the first 8 episodes were good to great, bro. Like, you really had no misses. Everything was tying in. We just expected something big to happen in the season finale, bro. And it just fell flat. Y'all missed. Y'all really missed, especially on this Mephisto point. I want to go back to that because, like I said, Agnes as your big bad, bro. We were saying Mephisto this whole season, and how are you going to introduce him now? Because that Mephisto and Agnes tie-in was there. So how are you going to tie him in, or is he going to be tied in moving forward? That was somebody I was really anticipated to see, because I really don't know too much about a Mephisto other than the videos I'm trying to look up for his research or like his background or whatever. But I don't know too much. So I was really anticipating somebody like him to come into the MCU, and just like I didn't get him. And also the big question that we had throughout the season: where the fuck is the beekeeper? Where's the beekeeper? Nah, nigga.
I gave up on him like 3 episodes ago. I gave up on that theory episodes ago. I didn't even know you were still holding on to that. I was like, yeah, this man.
Where's the beekeeper, my G? Because I said it in episode 3. I felt like he was going, like, Wanda has sent him into the multiverse or something like that. And that's possibly what happened, but I wanted to see something with him too, at least a scene or something, a little cameo, but it's just like, I got nothing, bro. I got nothing.
Well, let's go ahead and get into it, man. So we start the episode off. Agatha wants to know the true extent of Wanda's powers. She still has the kids in her grasp at the moment once we come back into the episode. And the battle of Agatha and Wanda begins. She gets the kids out of Agatha's grasp and she tells them to hide in the house. And Agatha starts showing Wanda her true powers. And the powers that Agatha has, we've seen in episode 8, where she has the powers to take the power from others, or quote unquote, the undeserving. That's what Agatha's powers are. And Wanda gets the true experience of that when she attacks her. And every time she attacks her, her hands begin to get dark like Agatha's. And that kind of weirded me out at first, because I'm like, damn, like, so it's like, even if you beat her, you'll never truly like defeat her because she's just absorbing everything. Even though it may hurt on contact, I'm just like, damn, like, how is Wanda gonna do this? Like, were you surprised at all that Wanda couldn't get around that trick?
That's one of the big reasons why I thought Wanda was going to lose this big bad fight, because I knew she could absorb powers and things like that and then use it against Wanda. So I was surprised by the end of the episode she did end up flipping it and turning it around on her. But yeah, that was something that really surprised me, how Wanda did that. But Agatha's powers wasn't surprising to me at all. But Wanda was.
Did you notice when she smashed the car into her and she fell into the house? Did you see how the shoes were?
Yeah, like Evil Witch of the like Wizard of Oz and shit. Yeah,
and that's why I said that during that Halloween episode. That's why I thought she was the Wicked Witch of the West when she was dressed like that. And then I like how Marvel did. Marvel be listening to the pod, bro.
Yeah,
I feel like they threw that in real last second, I think.
Yeah,
but then
I like the way they did that.
Then we go into White Vision. White Vision gets through the hex and walks up to Wanda. Wanda is confused as fuck. She just sees that as Vision, and she gets emotional really quick because she's looking like, I didn't create you, I don't think. And yeah.
And also, I think that's something that they're going to play on moving forward, like Wanda's emotion. I don't think Wanda's going to have a lot of emotion moving forward in these next movies that we see her in. Like, I don't think she's going to have a lot of emotion. I think she's going to move way more but methodical than what she moved before, because everything was off emotion for Wanda before.
Right.
Like seeing her brother die, seeing her kids disappear, seeing Vision disappear, whatever. But she going to be moving off like pure hatred for niggas at this point. I think she's going to be a huge villain in this what we're building up to with this Doctor Strange too.
I see her either being a villain or just being very neutral. Like, I don't see her being a totally good character anymore. I don't think she'll be in the hero role for a long time. If they ever do decide to put her back in the hero role, it's going to be a long time from now. So we're going to start getting villain Scarlet Witch, or neutral, neither good nor bad Scarlet Witch in the middle. I feel like that's
because we see how this almost got her fucked up. Like, that nigga was squeezing her head. You heard the bones cracking and shit. Like, her emotion has gotten her caught up a couple of times before, but I think moving forward, like, all that shit gonna be out the window, truthfully.
And then once White Vision attacks her, we finally get Vision. Vision was flying all of damn episode 8, damn near. So we finally get Vision versus Vision. He didn't even have a cool intro. He just came in. It just started kicking White Vision ass, and I'm like, okay, that's how he saves the day for her, I guess. Yeah. But then what else happens next? After Vision and White Vision start fighting, we notice that Monica is trapped by fake Pietro inside Agatha's house, and he's not really even doing much. Like, he's super fast, so he's just blocking off every exit every time she tries to run away. And I'm like, okay, we're gonna get the true. We're gonna get to see Monica's powers. We're gonna finally get to see what the fuck she can do. It didn't happen at all whatsoever.
Bro, do you feel like they misused Evan Peters, bro? I feel like they did not use this man to his fullest potential. He could have been so much more in this show, and you really just used him as a play toy when he could have been like a real big character when it came to this last fight scene or whatever. It's like he was just such a side character. I didn't like it.
Yeah, I didn't like the fact that Marvel did that, because it's like they know how we are as fans and as like movie theorists and all of that. Like when we see a former character of another show that can clearly tie into what you're doing now, like, yes, of course we're going to think X, Y, and Z is going to happen. And the fact that that didn't happen at all, like they didn't go in depth with his character. There was no backstory or anything. And then with not with Wanda, but with Monica, just completely wasted her character this episode. I was so pissed.
Oh my God. That's another reason I was mad as fuck. Yeah.
We got like this much, a tiny bit of her power, what she can do. And I'm just like, come on, man. That shit pissed me off.
Because I was really harping on your theory from last week because you had said something about we were going to see Monica's full powers. And I thought that was going to be one of the reasons Vision and Monica defeat somebody like a White Vision because they come together. Because I don't think a Vision would have beat a White Vision on his own. But that was one of the reasons I thought White Vision was going to die in episode 9. But you're not showing Monica's full powers. You just show that she can. She had got shot and like she just accepted the bullets, and that's the only thing we really seen from Monica.
I'm not gonna lie. One thing they did do, they played on the fact that she has multiple powers. I did notice that. Like because when her eyes change different colors, she uses different powers. If that makes sense. Yeah, like because her eyes
like
were
different
purple.
Radiation. I'm saying, yeah,
her eyes were purple. Later in the episode, and that alluded to the fact that she can see different energies in different areas. Like she has like a second sense of sight, if that makes sense. And then like we seen later in the episode when her eyes turn yellow, she gets like super instincts, like ultra instinct kind of. So it was cool to see like she has multiple powers, but they still didn't do shit really with tapping into it.
Didn't do shit. I thought she was gonna be beating ass, and then she just come in, take bullets for the kids, and then that was it. Like you really wasted her character in episode 9. Like, come on, bro. And she wasn't even needed in that scene when she had got shot. Like the kids didn't even need her. My nigga was moving bullets by us with his hands and shit. Like she wasn't even needed with that. I'm like, bro, y'all just
crazy. And then we see Agent Wu gets brought back into the show after they arrested him. He intimidates director Hayward, calls for help. He says that he has people that'll be there from Quantico that'll be there within the hour. So he intimidates Hayward by doing that. So Hayward makes sure, like, as soon as the hex starts opening, like, he gets his men in there as soon as possible. And then we get to the point where Agatha explains the dark code to Wanda, explains to her how it is deemed the Book of the Damned, and the Scarlet Witch has her own chapter in the book, like her entire chapter just to herself, explaining what she is. And the biggest quote that I took from what Agatha was saying was, the Scarlet Witch isn't born, she's forged. So it goes to the point that you made last episode of she wasn't born like that. So was she forged when she came in contact with the Space Stone? Was she forged in another type of way that we just didn't see in episode 8? Because we still didn't get a full grasp on how Wanda got her powers. So I was interested with that line. So that's why I quoted that line.
But I think it was really a mix, like maybe like a perfect mix of Stone and that X-Men gene that she has because Magneto is her father. I think when you mix that together, possibly that's what happens. So a lot of people don't have contact with that Mind Stone or an Infinity Stone. So there are not a lot of people like Wanda out here in the world. But I think when you combine them, you get somebody like a Wanda. And something else that I took away from that little monologue that she was having, and that she said the Scarlet Witch's purpose is to destroy the world. And that's another reason why I feel like Wanda will be a villain when we see her again in this Doctor Strange and this multiverse. Because if her purpose is to destroy the world, obviously she's not going to be on the same side as a Doctor Strange who's trying to save this shit from all the other villains we're probably going to have in Doctor Strange as well. So, you know what I'm saying? It could be like an anti-villain type of thing with Wanda because, you know, she still has that good in her. But I think we're going to see her shift more toward that villain side in a Doctor Strange too.
And Agatha also said that her power is supposed to exceed the Sorcerer Supreme. I didn't get a chance to really dive in. Yeah. Oh, that's right. Doctor Strange is a Sorcerer Supreme. I was going to say I didn't get a chance to like read up on who the Sorcerer Supreme was, but I forgot in Doctor Strange they talked about how that's who he is basically. So I'm really excited about that because now that we know Doctor Strange isn't the most powerful mystical being and it's now Wanda, that's going to be interesting to see how much of a cameo she's going to have in Doctor Strange 2. Is she going to be in there just for a snippet, Or is Wanda actually going to be in Doctor Strange 2 as a villain? Or is she going to help him against somebody like a Mephisto or a Galactus or something like that?
I think they're going to play it on, because at the post-credit scene, we see that she hears her kids or whatever. So I think she's going to go back to this multiverse to save her kids. Like, that's her mission. And she's going to run into Doctor Strange or whatever. And that's going to be like the big fight. But her mission is to get her kids. So she's going to do whatever to get her kids. So if she got to kill people, knock people off to get her kids back from the multiverse, she's going to do that. And I think that's the plot they're going to play on in Doctor Strange 2. So she's going to knock off a couple of heads. And that's why I said she's going to go toward that villain shit. And Doctor Strange probably going to try to subdue her and say, hey, you know what I'm saying, calm down or whatever. But I don't know.
Because I'm wondering how they're going to run into each other, because they're already in the same universe, on the same world, in the same universe, in the same timeline. So I'm just wondering how they're going to run into each other, because I'm sure Doctor Strange can already sense what's going on with her, because like I said, New Jersey is right next to New York. So that's why I gave that Fantastic Four point that I gave a couple.
But she flew away though, bro. She's not in New Jersey no more. Because we seen that post credit.
But what I'm saying with the hex and stuff that she was doing, Doctor Strange is right in New York.
Oh, so yeah.
I'm sure he can like sense what's going on. Like he has like the time stone, he has like the mystical things, he does meditation and everything. I'm sure he or somebody in New York was able to sense what she was doing, especially when she expanded it and it got as big as it got. Yeah. So I feel like they're going to have to tie that into Doctor Strange too. And I feel like he's going to say, we did notice a hex or something outside the city limits.
That's probably what they're going to do, but it's probably nothing that he could do, because even if he tried to stop the hex, we just find out that it's nothing that he can do, because he's not powerful than the Scarlet Witch. So he probably tried to at some point, and that's probably what we're going to see in Doctor Strange 2 too. See,
true.
I'd rather see a prequel to a Doctor Strange, like what the hell he was doing in this time frame, than a WandaVision 2. I'd rather see what the hell Doctor Strange was doing, if he was running into somebody or some shit like that while this whole thing was going on, rather than seeing what Wanda was doing after this. So I'd rather have a Doctor Strange prequel, or like a TV series prequel.
Well, I feel like they'll do that in like the first 15 to 20 minutes of the second Doctor Strange movie. I feel like they'll show what he was doing.
Oh, probably, yeah.
Wanda.
But I'm saying that's what I'm more interested in.
Or not. Yeah,
but that's probably what he was doing while this shit was going on. Probably fighting somebody else. But I feel like I would be more. I'm just saying I'm more interested in seeing what Doctor Strange was doing than to see what Wanda goes and does after episode 9. I'm more interested in what Doctor Strange was doing. But yeah, he probably was fighting somebody. We forgetting that this nigga got his own villains. See, you feel me?
Exactly. I really do forget that sometimes that everybody has their own villains. So even though you get one movie or one show after the other, that don't mean they're not happening at the same time. I forgot what movie was like that. Oh my God, what movie was like that? I think with Spider-Man Far From Home, when he was fighting against Mysterio. Yeah, I think other heroes were off doing something else. That's why Nick Fury trusted Spider-Man to just handle Mysterio by himself, because he's like, our other Avengers are off doing what the hell ever. Like, we need you to handle this by yourself. So I'm like, wow, a lot of these niggas really do have their own villains that they kind of fight on their own.
Fact. Yeah.
But then we get to the part where Agatha frees everyone's minds from Wanda's control, and Wanda finally gets the true interaction from everybody she's been controlling this entire season. Everybody's pissed the hell off. Dottie is begging her to see her daughter. Herb is pissed off, damn about to swing on Wanda. All these other characters are just like, can you please just tell my family I love them and everything? And Wanda's confused as hell. She's like, I was never trying to like trap or put y'all in pain. Like, I thought I was giving y'all peace. And I'm looking at Wanda like, you know, damn well you took these people from their happy lives. Like, you just came in this city and stole everybody. Exactly. They tell her like, we can't even go to sleep normally. Like, when we go to sleep, we have your nightmares. Everything that's going on in your head is going on our head. I'm like, damn, bro. And it was crazy to see at the end of the episode, like, there was no gratitude for her saving them or anything like that. They were still pissed off at her. And
did she really save them? But did she really save them? Or did she just take them out of that predicament that she put them in? Like, you started this, you created this hex. We was cool before that.
I see what you're saying. I see.
So you started this shit. Like I'm not thanking you for saving us from you. Like I'm not thanking you for that. You started this whole thing.
Because Monica said that. Monica said they'll never understand what you gave up for them. But Wanda
meaning
said,
the kids. Yeah.
She was like, they'll still never forgive me. Like they'll still look at me the same way because they just don't understand. Yes, I gave up something that I've always wanted, but that's not gonna change the fact that I took y'all from what y'all had so I can have what I want. Like no, they weren't gonna forgive her for that. I was like, damn.
No, I wouldn't either. Like, bro, you fucked up my whole family. I don't know where my family at because you wanted a family. That's why we didn't see any kids. Because Wanda wanted nobody but her kids to have all the fucking attention, bro. That's literally why we had that. And it's crazy. Wanda self crazy. I don't want to hear that bullshit.
And then we get back to fake Pietro. We find out fake Pietro's real name is Ralph Boner, and Ralph Boner was the person who lived in the house next to the plot that Vision bought for himself and Wanda. So that was Ralph Boner's actual house that Agatha was living in, portraying herself as Agnes, and that's the house she was using to spy on Wanda with.
And she was saying that Ralph was her husband and shit like that. You know what I'm saying?
Exactly.
Just because that's Ralph's house or whatever.
And I didn't even think that until you said that just now. I was like, damn, she did always say Ralph and blah, blah, blah and all that. So I'm like, damn.
But that's another reason why I was mad as fuck, bro. Because I'm thinking Ralph this whole time was Mephisto. I'm like, she just saying Ralph because she just alluding to this Mephisto character who she's saying is her husband Ralph or whatever. But when we find out that Ralph was just a nigga staying there, it's like, are you fucking kidding me? I'm thinking this was gonna be some nigga, like some big character that comes up and then it's just a nigga that was staying in the house before. It's just like, come on, dog.
And I really thought he was finna reveal himself as Mephisto or whoever he was gonna be. I thought he was gonna reveal himself as somebody. When he said this one line, he was like, the missus is out doing something or whatever. I'm like, the missus? Like, does that mean like we finna find out who Pietro really is or something like that? And then that's when Monica pulled up one of his house bills or whatever, and that bit said Ralph Boner. I'm like, come on, bro. All these
misused my nigga.
All these theories for what, bro? God damn.
And that's what I'm telling you, bro. And that's why, because just take away episode 9 for a second, bro. But that's why WandaVision was so great for the first 8 episodes, because we had so many theories, so much anticipation for what was going to happen. So when we don't get anything, bro, nothing, Mephisto, Grim Reaper, Magneto, nothing. It's just like, come on, bro. You waste 10 minutes at the end for emotional shit. Come on, dude. I was
crazy.
Pissed, I was pissed.
Crazy. And then we find out how he was being controlled. I think Agatha put like a beaded necklace around it that had like her own hex on it. So that's how she was mind controlling him without even having to focus on him, really. And then what else happened after that? Wanda realizes she cannot destroy the hex without destroying her family, and she realizes she has a decision to make. And she notices this when Agatha dares her to free the people that she just freed their minds from. And when she's trying to open the hex, she notices Vision and Billy and Tommy are both dissolving, and she realizes, oh shit, I can't open this without killing them, and I can't let these people free without like putting it back closed and shit. So it was a hard situation. I'm like, damn, you got a choice to make, Wanda. You either gonna sacrifice your family or you gonna keep your family and say fuck everybody else.
I thought she was gonna close that bitch forever. Like, man, fuck y'all niggas, man. Y'all finna stay in this bitch with me, because her purpose is to destroy the world. So I'm like, man, she don't give a fuck about these niggas anyway. So I'm like, she gonna keep these niggas in here, keep them hostage or whatever. But I was trying to figure out if she could have, because she was already like cracking the portal or cracking the hex. I was wondering if all the people that were already stuck in there, if they could run out and she closed it back and her family is still intact. Like, was that not a possibility?
I feel like it was, but something was bound to happen wrong. Like, something wrong was going to happen if she tried to do that. I hardly feel like she was going to be able to create the perfect situation where she could have a hex just around her house and then like let the rest of the world be the rest of the world. Like, that wasn't going to happen.
She the Scarlet Witch. We see it's possible if she wanted this shit. It could have came true. That's all I'm saying. But yeah. I definitely thought she was gonna do some crazy shit in that situation, but hey, she made the decision.
And then we finally get the family cameo. All the family comes together. Vision, Wanda, and Billy and Tommy. Their superhero pose was very awkward. I thought it was gonna look way cooler than what it did.
It did. They were trying to do that Incredible shit. You heard the Incredibles music in the background. I was like, okay.
I was
it still didn't give me that vibe though. It didn't give me that Incredibles vibe.
It didn't give me an Incredibles. I don't know what vibe it gave me. I just thought it was gonna be way cooler than what it was. The only cool shit from that part was when they were like, we didn't prepare you for this, but you were born to do it. And I was like, okay, cool ass quote, but terrible ass posing. Like,
yeah. And that's something that Mr. Incredible said. That's something that Mr. Incredible said though to his kids before they had fall. I think it was something along those lines. Like, we didn't prepare y'all, but hey, y'all gotta do what y'all gotta do.
That was Mrs. Incredible when they was in the cave, and Violet and Dash, like, they were like, but at home, like, you told us to never use our powers, and now we're in a situation where you're just like, use your powers, and like, we don't do this shit normally.
Yeah,
like,
exactly. Yes. So I see what they was going for with that. Mm-hmm.
True. And then Hayward and Sword make it inside, like I said earlier. And during the fight with Vision and White Vision, we see they get into the library of Westview. And this is where Vision gets the idea to finally tell White Vision the truth about himself. And he starts telling him about the ship of Theseus, if I'm not mistaken, and how the ship of Theseus is in a museum. And Vision was telling him, if you replace the rotten pieces of the ship of Theseus, once it is completely rebuilt, what the unrotten pieces is, it's still the same ship. And White Vision was like, basically, at the end, he was basically saying, so neither one of us are the real Vision, but I'm the closest thing to it. And that's basically what Vision was trying to tell him. And then that's when he flew off. And I was kind of upset because I'm like, okay, he'll come back later in the episode. Never came back. And that pissed me off. So I know you was upset.
Worst part. That. This is the worst part of the fucking episode. This is the worst part. Y'all talking during a fight? Like, when did the conversation even start?
That like, happens all the time.
But y'all niggas, nah, bro, not no conversation where everybody calm and shit. It's like, come on, dog.
That happens all the time.
Niggas is calm during mid fights.
It happened literally during half of Avengers Endgame. Like, literally the entire last fight scene. You didn't realize how many times they all stopped and just had casual conversation while everybody was fighting. You didn't notice
not like that, bro. No. Yes. And Endgame, it was literally not like that. So you telling me Thanos was just like, yeah, the book of Theseus, to Captain America in Endgame? That didn't happen, bro. It was probably some slick comment, but it wasn't like a dialogue between these niggas like for like 5 to 10 minutes. It was not like that. It was like, so it was probably a slick comment, and then we fighting, nigga. Like, cause it's a mission at the end of the day. And I thought it was gonna be the same thing for White Vision. Like, you have a mission to destroy regular Vision. Like, nigga, destroy this nigga. Like, don't talk to this nigga. You're a robot. Do what you came here to do. And this nigga just really broke all that shit and just, let me see, let me hear what he has to say. You're really piquing my interest, Vision. Like, nigga, get the fuck out of here with that bullshit, man. That shit pissed me off.
So, you really finna sit here and say you've never seen dialogue during fighting? That's really what you finna say.
Mid-fight, 5 minutes? Oh, yes. Let me hear what you have to say. Let me hear what you have to say.
Yes, I've seen it several times in so many movies. Like,
bruh, I'm not hearing that shit. I only hear that shit when the villain, when he feel like he about to win, he start talking about his plan or some shit, and then he talks for like 5 minutes while the other
you're talking about monologuing. You're talking about monologuing.
Yeah, that's basically what we got here.
No, it's not.
Dialogue, monologues. Niggas was talking for way too long without fighting.
It happens all the time. Like, I can honestly tell you, it happens all the time.
I do not remember that shit.
It happened in Ultron. It happened in Age of Ultron. It happened in Loki. I mean, not Loki. It happened in the first Avengers. It happened in Avengers Endgame. What other movie did it happen in? It happened in...
If it did happen, the shit shouldn't have happened. There's no reason niggas should really be fighting during fights, bro, or talking during fights, bro.
And I'm used to it. That's used to it. I watch anime, so I'm used to like dialogue in between fights and everything. So I'm used to the shit. I liked it.
On these streets, nigga, we not talking during fights. We complete the mission or we get tired. Either way, nigga, we got to complete what the fuck we came here to do. Nigga, we ain't talking dialogue going back and forth for 5 minutes.
You have to have context. You're trying to have a battle with no context.
Worst part of the episode. But we already knew the context. White Vision was sent here by sword to destroy. That's all we need to know.
He didn't know that. He didn't know that. He needed to understand.
White Vision knew that. White Vision knew. I said, I'm here to destroy you, nigga. He literally said that during the show.
He still, like, once Vision made him think for half a second, like, what do you mean you're not the real Vision? Vision had no choice but to sit there and talk to him and let him know what was going on.
How he know Vision wasn't trying to play him though?
Because he literally touched his head and gave him all the.
I'm talking about before that. He touched his head at the end. I'm talking about before that. How you know Vision ain't bullshitting you because he don't want to get his ass beat?
Okay, eventually he gonna stop talking. Eventually, and when he did stop talking,
he
showed him the evidence.
Worst part of the shit. Go on.
I highly disagree. Worst.
I hate it.
What was the worst part of this episode?
Well, he literally flew off mid-fight. Like, bro, nigga, what? Where are you going? You're not gonna do anything?
That was not the worst.
You're just gonna let this nigga live? That's.
I don't know what the worst part of the episode was. Not getting. I don't even know if there was a worst part. The worst part was finding out that fake Pietro literally was a nobody. That was the worst part of the episode. Finding out that he was literally just a nobody that Agatha completely changed the look of. That was the worst part to me, honestly.
And I heard that we're never going to see Evan Peters again. Like, this is Evan Peters' like last run. So you really just use this nigga for nothing. Like, you could have used him for when like the X-Men really come, but y'all really not gonna use Evan Peters again. Wasted.
Hey, he got that check.
Bro, it's good. He could have got even more of a check if you really involved this nigga with the X-Men. It's like, bro, I hated the shit, but yeah.
And then next part, we get Darcy stops Hayward. Darcy finally catches up to everybody in this old ass clown car she was in, runs into Hayward as he's trying to drive off, and gave him that funny ass line, "Have fun in prison."
Yeah.
I love Darcy. And then what happens next? Wanda gets in Agatha's head this time on a sneak attack that she did, and she created ruins to trap her in. And when she got in Agatha's head, she put Agatha in the same predicament she was in, like in the 1600s, I think that was, when she was about to be killed by her mother and everything. And this is when Wanda and Agatha both see the crown of the Scarlet Witch begin to form on Wanda's head. And once Agatha notices that she's stuck in the runes trap,
why did the witches that were in episode 8 that were flipping on Agatha, why were they flipping on Wanda? I think it was because Agatha was the queen witch and she had the brooch.
Oh yeah, probably. I was about to say she did have that brooch on. Yeah, because we weren't wondering what the brooch stood for.
Yeah, I think it was because she queen witch and everybody was like, yeah, attack her because the queen witch said so. I think that's why everybody had hopped on Wanda's head.
And how dangerous they know the Scarlet Witch is. So Agatha is the queen because she has the brooch, and like it is written that they kept telling her like it is written that we're supposed to blah 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 to the Scarlet Witch or whatever and everything. So that was interesting. I didn't peep that. I forgot she had the brooch on. And then we see Wanda turn into the Scarlet Witch finally, for real. It's not just a dream. It's not just a vision anymore. She gets the full costume look and everything, which was badass. That was probably my favorite part of the episode.
I was so confused during that fight when she was like throwing that girl her power and shit. I'm like, what is she doing? Like, why are you just giving that girl all your energy, bro? I like the way she played. I knew what she was doing. I was like, I was confused. I was like, what? Because I was like, whoa, does Wanda want a damn family that bad? Is she giving up all her fucking power like that?
Oh, no.
Does she want a family?
She wasn't doing that.
I'm like, what the hell? Like, she just throwing that shit at Agatha. I'm like, Agatha finna whip your ass, my nigga.
As soon as I seen her throwing it at her on purpose, I was like, okay, I know what she finna do. Like, it's finna be some reverse, like, type shit that she was doing, which it was.
I was hella confused, but yeah.
And then once Agatha notices what Wanda has done now and sees that she's finally turned into the Scarlet Witch, Agatha is defeated, and Wanda turns her back into Agnes, the nosy neighbor. And Agatha tells her, "You're going to need me." And then Wanda told her, "If I do, I know where to find you."
And I was just about to say that we already seen, because she's already taught Wanda a couple of lessons about magic already. So what we've seen about in the comics about Agnes being like the teacher for Wanda could still be true moving forward too. Mm-hmm. She's already got a couple of lessons this episode and last episode, and she could get some moving forward because she's going to come back for Agatha when she tries to defeat Doctor Strange or whoever and DS2 for sure.
Yeah, that was cool to me because I'm like, okay, you can't just completely get rid of Agatha because it's like she in the comics she did teach her to become what she became. So I totally agree. I feel like she is going to be brought back. Maybe not like majorly, but you'll probably see snippets of her in future like TV shows or future movies. Like you'll see where Wanda goes to her for like questioning, or like you might get a training montage or something like that between the two. So I'm excited to see what they still do with her character. And we see Wanda begin to close the hex finally. She closes it in on all of Westview as her, Vision, and the kids go home. And this is where the episode gets really emotional as Wanda realizes, okay, I have to create closure for myself. I have to give up what I want for the greater good of everything else. And that was really cool to me. I like the fact that they did that, made it like emotional on the fact that, damn, like I really got to let go of what I want. Again, I already lost my parents. I lost my brother. I lost the love of my life. I can't even bring them back on my own and have it to myself. I got to give that shit up too. So I'm just like, damn, Wanda keep losing shit again and again and again. So what'd you think about that?
I had too much hate in my heart by this time in the episode to actually appreciate the scene. So I didn't give a fuck. It was 10 minutes of that emotion. I don't give a fuck. Show me action. That's all I wanted for episode 9 was action. You had 8 fucking episodes to give me all the emotion I wanted. Episode 9 was supposed to be action, action, action. So when you spent 10 minutes on that shit, I'm like,
you sound like one of those. You sound like one of those people that hated Endgame when it came out.
I didn't hate Endgame when it came out. What didn't I like about Endgame when it came out?
Because there were a lot of people.
It was so much story. It was so much story in the beginning. I feel like that was something that was slow.
Like it was a lot of people that hated Endgame and thought Infinity War was better because Infinity War was like literally straight action. And then I'm like, y'all knew Endgame, like to everybody. I'm saying like everybody that I see and hear like say negative stuff about Endgame when it first came out. I'm like, y'all knew it wasn't gonna be straight action. Like y'all got to have the story on how they bring everybody back. Like they can't what the action was going to be for the first half of the movie if you don't got nobody. Like they got to go through.
Make it happen, Marvel. Make it happen.
But that's
y'all
like,
the niggas that make the movies.
Like I don't like movies like that where it's just a bunch of action with little to no story. Like I hate movies like that. Like give me it don't got to be don't do no Wonder Woman shit where it's like it's just all storyline. But what
Infinity War was definitely better than the Endgame for sure. Only thing about Endgame that I say that top Infinity War was the end. On when everybody came out, you know, that last 20 minutes, 15, 20 minutes.
The action
that shit was great.
And the action in Infinity War was better, but the the story of Endgame was better. Like the plot and storyline of Endgame was better. I liked it better. Plus, I liked how, like you said, how they like we got the greatest scene of all time, I believe.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Of all movies, like not even just action movies. I feel like that's one of the greatest movie scenes in history when everybody came back. That shit was crazy. Yeah. But I do believe like the action and the fact that they lost. Like we don't usually see superheroes.
We don't see that at all. Yeah.
Especially not multiple superheroes. Like you might see one superhero lose and then come back with another movie, but we've seen literally all these niggas lose like at the same time. So on different worlds, everything, they all lost at the same time. So I'll give Infinity War that. But I love the emotional part. Hey, shout out to everybody who making the Vision memes with the braids with the gold chain. You see them leaning in the room with the Gucci belt. He's like, "Yo, mama told y'all to go to bed." That shit had me crying.
I had a vision. I was with y'all asses. Yeah. I seen all that shit.
Somebody said some shit. They was like, it was the picture where he was standing with his hand on his stomach, and somebody was like, "Y'all hoes really in love for the MacBook Pro." I was like, "God damn."
That shit is hilarious, bro. They really have my nigga Vision with a turtleneck on. That shit.
They be killing me on Twitter, bro. I'm like, niggas is wild. And then we get to the episode finishes with Wanda riding off after talking to Monica. Wanda tells her, "I don't know the extent of this power, but I'm gonna find out." And she flies off and leaves Westview. And then boom, we get to the post-credit scenes, what Marvel is notorious for. Hayward is arrested. And Monica is approached by a scroll. You were the main one saying that we were going to get scrolls in this show. So as soon as I seen one, I was like, damn, I know Quincy happy about that. So she's approached by a scroll, and the scroll tells her basically hinting at Nick Fury that Nick Fury wants to talk to her, and she tells him he's in outer space, and I'm pretty sure we're gonna finally get the full view. Maybe I don't know in Doctor Strange 2, but maybe
Marvel 2.
Captain Marvel 2. I don't know. I feel like we might get a view before then. I don't know when. What?
Oh, I get. You talking about? What are you talking about? What are you saying?
Like, well, I feel like we'll finally get a full view of the new Shield in outer space with Nick Fury. I don't know if we'll get that with the Falcon and the Winter Soldier, or we might just have to wait until 2022.
Yeah, I don't think they're really incorporated with Shield though. But Shield is more like extraterrestrial, like outer space shit. That's more like you know what I'm saying? That's more like.
But that's why I think it's gonna happen when Monica goes to talk to him. I'm saying like we're gonna get a full view of what he's been doing with building the new Shield up there. That's what I'm saying.
I don't think we're going to get that until after Doctor Strange 2, because I'm pretty sure that's when Captain Marvel 2 comes out. Captain Marvel 2 comes out after Doctor Strange 2. So I think that's when we'll get a conversation on that.
Could we get it? I'm predicting this. We're going to get it at the end of this year with Spider-Man 3. I feel like we're going to get exposed to that.
Oh, yes.
Spider-Man 3 comes out in December, so I feel like we'll get exposed. About the Skrulls.
Yeah.
Yep.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
We seen them transform into the Skrulls at the end of the movie in the post-credit scene. Spider-Man 3, we're getting a look at the new Shield and Nick Fury. So I'm excited for that. And then we get to the real post-credit scene where you see Wanda. It didn't really show where in the woods, but it looked like she was somewhere like out in Europe in the woods somewhere. Mm-hmm. And she had like a fake version of herself living in a cabin while she was way in the back of the cabin as the Scarlet Witch. And you see
it's like the Doctor Strange, the same thing Doctor Strange be doing when he like pop out of his body and shit and he can do whatever. Yeah, it's the same thing he be doing.
She's reading and studying the Darkhold, and I'm just like, oh shit, like she really figuring out how to do this shit now. And then that's when we hear Billy and Tommy screaming in the background, calling for her. So I'm like, okay, we finna get some multiverse shit. She finna go to wherever universe they're in where she hears them from, and she finna get them. And yeah, intro to Doctor Strange 2. There you go, right there.
Yeah, I didn't take too much away from it. I was just yeah. Like I said, but by that point, I was just like, okay, I understand what we were doing. You had the Doctor Strange music in the background or whatever. So yeah, like you said, it was the intro to Doctor Strange, but I expected so much more. That's what I
gave this episode like a 5 when I first watched it, but now I'm low-key giving it like a 7. I'm not gonna lie, I'm giving it like a 7. Because of the ending post-credit, like the final post-credit scene, and after watching it multiple times to like see how all of this shit finna play out, I'm like, okay, now I see what they did there. Like I was just angry as hell when I first watched it, but after the second and third time, I'm like, okay, I see what they're doing. I see where this is gonna go. And then the final post-credit scene, I'm like, okay, yeah, I give this shit like a 7.
I probably give it a 5. I was kind of bummed when I seen Monica as the post-credit scene, because that's something I kind of figured was like implied. I feel like more so than I don't think we needed a post-credit scene for that. I feel like they could have threw something else in there. I feel like the ending post-credit scene could have been the first one. And then we probably could have seen like a second one be like Doctor Strange or some shit. Maybe he hear Wanda coming and that nigga getting hype or whatever because he know he's about to be some type of crazy shit going on. I would have rather seen that some shit like that happen, like for the last one, like a Doctor Strange. Then I would feel like I would have felt better about the episode if I would have seen somebody else in that last one.
And what's crazy is I know they weren't gonna do this in Infinity War, but when Doctor Strange seen the 14 million and 2 possibilities with going against Thanos, I wonder if he's seen like the extent of what Wanda would become. Like I wonder if he looked that far, or did he look just as far as they needed him to look? Like that's one thing I was wondering too when I seen this.
Yeah, because there was only like one reality that actually passed, like that they were going to get through that. Yeah,
when they won. So I'm like, okay, did you just look as far as Thanos, or did you look for Thanos in the next couple weeks, or like Thanos in the next year or whatever? He probably stopped right at Thanos. So it was like, okay, that's all I needed to know.
That's what I'm saying. Like, as long as we win, like, I don't give a damn what happened after that. Like, it is what it is. Like, we'll handle it then, but we got to get past this nigga first. So I feel like it was I feel like it was just stop it right there. But I do want to say this regarding like the future of the MCU. I want y'all to pay really close attention to Skrulls moving forward because they're going to be like a huge Skrull movie. It's called Secret Invasion, and that's like when people really don't know who's a Skrull and who's not a Skrull, and it's going to be like an Avengers versus Avengers type of fight moving forward because you don't know who to trust. And I think they're going to have a show about that. I think Nick Fury is going to be the leading star for that. But it's going to be about the Skrulls, and you don't know who you can trust, who's a Skrull. So I think it's going to be a clash between those two moving forward.
Probably going to be like a Captain America Civil War type vibe.
Yeah, it is. Because you don't know who to trust because it's like, damn, niggas you see all the time. It's like, them niggas really could be a Skrull. So you like, I seen videos about it and the shit was crazy. That's like one of the biggest fights like in the MCU and Marvel Universe, period. But definitely look out for Skrulls because they're going to play a huge part in the MCU. For sure. Yeah,
I'm just real interested to see with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. I'm not really sure who's going to be their quote unquote villain or whoever their antagonist is. I'm really surprised to see how that's going to go. I'm really excited for Loki though, because I feel Loki is going to tie into a lot of this multiverse type stuff because he has the Space Stone. I feel he has the Space Stone in this show. So I'm real interested to see that. But one thing, like I've been saying for the past couple reviews now, Marvel is really going to get in their bag, I feel, with these comic villains, these comic book villains that you don't usually hear about. Like, I want to know if we'll get Death in the future because in the comic books, Thanos did what he did with the stones to impress Death because he wanted to marry Death and everything. So I wonder if Death is ever going to be incorporated in any of this. Like you said with Mephisto, and who else did you say? The Grim
Magneto.
Reaper and everything,
Reaper,
Magneto. Yeah. Like I really want to see how this villain bag is going to be open with Marvel.
I want to see how the X-Men are incorporated because I know like Wanda was like a big part of that. So I want to know how X-Men are created, or if they were created by her, or are they already existing, but we just don't know about them yet. Like niggas can really be like, the government could be trying to hide them up. And then we see a Professor X like pop on the scene and say, yeah, it's like a mutants like all over. We just don't know about them yet. So I think it could be something like that moving forward. But I think that's it. I had something else, but I don't remember no more.
What are your rankings for the episodes? I'm pretty sure this
is rankings for this episode or for the season. Yikes. I'll have 8 to 8. 6, 9, 7, 5, 4, 3, 1, 2.
I would have 6, 6, 5, 9, 7. Oh wait, no. Let me start over. 6, 5, 9, 8, 7. 4, 3, 1, 2.
Yes, sir. And that's what I wanted to say. Thanos is coming back in the Eternals movie. I'm pretty sure he's coming back because he is an Eternal and a Celestial. Mm-hmm. I'm pretty sure Thanos is coming back for in that show. So we could be getting even more backstory to a Thanos and probably seeing him once again in the MCU. So that should be interesting moving forward too. And I think that movie comes out in November. Eternals come out in November. So.
Eternals. Let me check.
Yeah, Eternals come out in November. It's a lot of shit coming out, bro. I think Shang-Chi is coming out soon.
Yeah, November 5th.
Loki. Yep. You got Loki coming out. You got what's my girl Black Widow coming out. It's a lot of shit. And me and Edgar were just talking about it the other day. I don't think Black Widow is dead. I think there's something going on, and that's why we're getting her prequel story, because the post-credit scene will give us a look into what really happened. Is she the one really dead, or is she playing a way bigger part in the MCU even to this day, even though she could be dead? I don't know. I'm really looking forward to that one.
I feel like the Black Widow movie is just a prequel story on the background of Black Widow, and I feel like they'll just be Easter eggs on how certain things from her past will affect other characters in the future. I feel like that's all it's going to be.
Because I'm hearing
still
something
be really good though.
I'm hearing something about a potential face swap that her and her sister swap faces, and that her sister was the one that really died in Endgame, and that Natasha Romanoff is still alive, but another face. That's possibly what we could be seeing. It could be something to do with the Pym particles as well. So I don't know.
Mhm.
It's a lot of direction that they could go in with that. But you got anything else?
Nah, that's it. I'm just ready for all this Marvel content for the rest of the year.
That shit finna be crazy, bro. You can hit it with the social media.
You can follow us on Twitter at QE Podcast 1. You can follow us on Instagram at QANDE Podcast. You can follow and like our Facebook page. Don't forget to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Click the notification bell so you can see anytime that we drop new episodes. Our email, QANDEpodcast@gmail.com for any business inquiries, questions, or concerns.
Yes, subscribe to all of our podcast platforms. We're on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Spotify, and iHeartRadio. Subscribe to the YouTube and subscribe to my YouTube channel. Just type in Quincy Hicks into the search bar and definitely hit that subscribe button. We appreciate y'all for listening. Let's move on to the next show, which is Falcon and the Winter Soldier. We will be reviewing that, so definitely look forward to that. We appreciate y'all for listening, and we out. Peace.